Hi fantasy managers, welcome to FPL Team Talk. So in this video we're going to go through team selection for game week 4. We're going to have a look at the players that make my starting 11, what are the transfer opportunities and choices that I'm going to make for game week 4. Then we'll have a look at captaincy. And remember guys, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit that like button, make sure you subscribe. In the meantime, let's take a look. Okay, let's have a look at my side then. In goal we have Ramsdale, and he's done pretty well for me so far. 2 clean sheets out of 3. He tops the table in terms of expected goals conceded. Man City at 0.86, Arsenal 0.7. I know that's a really small straw poll at the moment, only 3 games in, and everyone would have played someone different. But for me at the moment, Ramsdale's just a set and forget. Don't regret bringing him in. I have that Arsenal defence covered with him. I'm happy for the next 5 weeks. Looking at those fixtures, they're great. Ward can come in if I need him to with a better fixture. But right now, Ramsdale's number 1 for me, and he will keep his place. Alongside him in that defence, I have Reece James. So even though Chelsea looked pretty poor against Leeds, it has to say, conceded 3, he has still returned 2 in the last 3 games. Him playing at right centre-back is a little bit of concern. I've got no plans to move him on this week though. There are lots of rumours about whether they'll bring Aspilicueta and Cucurella could come into the back 3 alongside Thiago Silva while Koulibaly's suspended. We'll have to wait and see how that pans out. Even when he plays a short period of the game at right wing back, he just looks so effective, and his XGI is still high. So I'm happy to keep him at the moment. I mean, his XGI just beating the likes of Trent, Zinchenko, Cancelo. He is just such a good option, and even at centre back, could argue he offers a bit of an attacking threat as well. But if he was to continue playing in that back 3, then possibly I'd have to look at other options. But right now, I don't think he's the one I'll be looking to move out. And at home to Leicester, I still trust him to get something from that game, clean sheet or attacking return. Robertson, another one, 1.2.1 point. It's gone down in value. He doesn't look very good. He doesn't pass the eye test. He's come off early in a couple of games for Simicast. There is discussion in the community about whether or not he will even be rotated and Simicast will come in. I don't know. I'm not convinced that will be the case. But at 0.1, he's not offering a lot going forward, and he just doesn't look anywhere near as potentially threatening as Trent does. So he does worry me. But for the Bournemouth fixture, and then he's got Newcastle at home, I don't feel it's the right time to get rid of him. I'm just going to give him a couple more weeks. I'm going to be patient. Let's see he doesn't become suddenly a bad asset overnight. We'll just keep an eye on him and wait and see. But potentially if he doesn't start bringing in some sort of returns, yes, I think I've got to sort of cut my losses, move that money to somewhere else where it could be better used. Dalot, very cheap to start with. He's gone down in price as well. Not got any sort of attacking returns, though his XGI is reasonably good, 0.39. Manchester United nearly kept that clean sheet against Liverpool, but he looks fairly decent going forward. But I'm not really looking to hold on to Dalot. I don't trust that Man United defence. Perhaps we'll learn a bit more against Southampton. Fixtures after that don't look great either. So Dalot is one who's definitely up for losing his place on my side, even though his XGI looks good. Seems to be getting booked a lot as well, which is very annoying. Kyle Walker, cheap way into that Man City defence. Wait and see whether the signing of the new right back affects him in any way whatsoever. 2 clean sheets. Doesn't offer a lot going forward, but great fixtures. I'm happy to keep Walker. Just having the best defender and the best defence makes sense. Nico Williams, enabler at 4 million. He's been, I wouldn't say a revelation, but he's been a lot more attacking and potential point scoring than we thought he would be. Difficult fixtures next 2 game weeks. Don't see any need to move him on though. Probably be benching him for the next 2 weeks. But then Bournemouth, Leeds, Fulham, yeah, I could definitely see myself playing him in those. And he has really good XGI at 0.49. Moving into that midfield slots then, Martinelli, brought him in for Saka a couple of weeks ago, 0.73, really good XGI. He's returning every game, great fixtures, nailed. Don't need to say any more. Even since I brought him in a week ago, he has gone up in price. So don't regret bringing him in. He looks a really good, solid, must-have player. And Mo Salah as well. 2 returns, 22 points in 3 games. That's still really impressive. XGI 0.77 is really good. He is the most expensive player in the game, so let's not forget that. But still a great captaincy option. Bournemouth at home, Newcastle will be difficult. Then the Merseyside derby, Wolves at home. They look like some cracking fixtures. Got no intention on taking him out anytime soon. If anything, Liverpool look really reliant on him to make something happen in that final third with so many injuries. So I'm kind of on penalties as well. I'm kind of absolutely nailed on him. Not thinking of moving him out whatsoever. Bailey, he's one that a lot of people have shipped out, could possibly go down in price again by the time this video's released. Got a return. What a great assist with his head it was last week. Fixtures don't look nice at all, but I'm happy to keep him versus West Ham this week. Maybe look to move on after that. Did score in midweek, got a rest, so I'm hoping he'll start against West Ham. For 5 million, I'm not too worried about him, but he's definitely one that could strengthen my side if I got some money to bring someone else in. Alongside him, I think Pereira's just done absolutely fine. Andreas, he got his assist last week, picked up some bonus points. Fixtures look horrible, but 4.5, happy to leave him on the bench. XGI looks fine for someone who's such a low price. And the other one is Raheem Sterling. One return in 3 games, he's using up a lot of money in my midfield. His XGI looks okay at 0.52. Fixtures look alright. Definitely considering moving on. There's a lot of other options that he could go for. I just wonder whether Leicester at home, is that a game I'll just hold on to him for one more week? He's definitely nailed. We'll talk about him more in a minute. Haaland, don't really need to talk about him. His XGI is amazing. Even though he missed chances against Newcastle, could have had a double-digit haul. 13 points, 5.6 points. Just returning every game. His fixtures look great. Looks nailed. Don't need to have a conversation with him. And I also don't really need to have a conversation about Jesus. He's just been absolutely fantastic. Again, 2 returns in the first 3 games. 8.1. Looks brilliant. Great fixtures. And then up front as well, just making up numbers. Enabler on the bench. His XGI is not that bad, actually. But he's only getting a short amount of minutes. Don't see that increasing anytime soon. He's just going to be a set and forget on my bench enabler to get the money in elsewhere in the rest of my squad until maybe a wild card, and then perhaps let's see what other options are available then. But that is my 15. Let's have a look. They've got 2 transfers to use. What I'm going to do, who makes my team, and who my captaincy option is. So on screen I have my team ready for game week 4, overall rank 2.8 million. So early in the season I've got 1.7 million in the bank. Squad value is 98.6, so I have some money to play with. Greenwood, Andreas away at Arsenal, and I think Nico Williams at home to Forest. They're the 3 obvious bench choices. Could bring on Nico Williams for Bailey. I don't think I trust Forest to get a clean sheet against Tottenham. So if that's my bench, let's just lose them for a second. And then let's have a look at the options I've got. I have 2 free transfers. So I've got to use one, otherwise one's going to get burnt. And I have plenty of choices. Not like I don't have a number of players I could bring in. Perisic, probably number 1 target, I'd have to say. He's only played, 120 minutes, something like that. He already has 2 assists. He's got an expected goal involvement of 1, which is just amazing. You can't keep that up. But Nottingham Forest, then West Ham, then Fulham at home. They've got 3 games in a week, so that does worry me a little bit, bringing him in, 5.5. However, if he's going to play Forest, if he's going to play 2 of those, I'm expecting after a week's rest to play Forest. Maybe rested away at West Ham because it comes quite quickly on Wednesday. Then the Saturday against Fulham. So hopefully, if he plays 2 of those games, it's going to be the Forest and Fulham game, and Sessegnon takes his place for West Ham. Couldn't guarantee that, but I expect him to play 2 of those 3 games nonetheless, and I expect him to play Forest. So there's a good chance of a clean sheet for him then. Perisic just on set pieces, gets involved, it just looks lethal. 5.5 looks like a decent price for him. So he's definitely someone on my list, and I'll look at how I could bring him in a minute. The fact is that as well that Tottenham are the 4th best defence so far this season. Yes, you could argue about the teams they played, but they can only play the teams they've got in front of them. So again, that just heightens the opportunity for clean sheet. All things point at Perisic. I do quite like the idea. Maybe now is the time to bring him in. Other choices is Cucurella. If James is still constantly playing centre-back, Cucurella is just $1 million cheaper. He's got an assist. XGI is anywhere is good, but if he continues to play as a wing-back, or even the same position as Reece James, just saving $1 million suddenly looks pretty appealing, and he looks like he's nailed in that Chelsea side as well. So Cucurella could save me a lot of money. Perisic just looks really good for the next few run of fixtures. Chelsea's defence doesn't look great, it has to be said, but you would assume that's only going to get better. I don't have too many long-term worries about that Chelsea defence. And Cucurella 5.1 saves $1 million for James, and that could be really useful somewhere else in the side. Other options, Rashford 6.3, Martial out again for a few weeks. Not many other striking options. Rashford scored obviously against Liverpool, so his HGI looks pretty good. 6.3 playing up front for Man United. if they continue on the trajectory they showed against Liverpool, then maybe he could be a really good option down as a midfielder. 6.3 could be a really decent option for him. So I will be taking a look at him away at Southampton. I'm not sure that would be a really an easy game to target, and away at Leicester either. Then you got Arsenal, so the fixtures do put me off a little bit. One player that I'm really keen on bringing in, it's just Ilkay Gundogan. Look at those fixtures. He's played all 3 games, 7.6. He's got 2 goals. His XGI looks good, 0.55, 7.6. Playing in that midfield for City as well, getting forward. Oh, I love the idea of bringing Gundogan. If you played FPL a couple of years ago, you will remember him having a just insane run of form when De Bruyne was out, where he just was on penalties, he was scoring every week. He was just a phenomenal player to have. And it kind of ring bells with so far this season how he's playing. 7.6 in that City midfield. If he produces anything like that form, wow, what an asset he could be. So I definitely have my eyes on him, especially with those fixtures. But how do I get these players and which ones do I bring into my side? Because I cannot make all of them, and I don't think I need to take a hit. One of the things then I think I could do, I could get Rashford in. Bailey could come out. That would absorb a lot of money, but I would have Rashford. But I'm not sure whether Southampton away is a good choice, then followed by Leicester. And it's just one game that Man U have impressed in. Gundogan, definitely. The only way I've managed to get him in is if I downgraded Salah. That's not going to happen. Upgrade Martinelli. I don't want to take him out. Bailey, I don't have enough to go to. I could go for Sterling, downgrading him. Sterling at home to Leicester, though, I'm just not sure I want to take Sterling out just yet. So I may well give Sterling one more chance. And if he doesn't, then come in on Gundogan. I might live to regret that, I don't know. But Sterling, I still like the look of one more game against Leicester. Possibly could keep him, but Gundogan just looks like a really good option. I could definitely still do that, and I'm not saying that's not something I will do either. Perisic in for Dalot, I think I'm going to have to do that. Dalot, that takes me, costs me 1.1 million. It leaves me with 0.6 in. Perisic comes straight in the side. Away at Forest, looks like a decent shout to me. So Perisic, I think, is definitely going to go for. The other one I could go for is bring out James and bring in Cucurella. That would give me 1.6. I don't have to make that transfer though, and I just wonder at home to Leicester, if Reece James does actually play as a wing back, I want to keep him. So maybe just holding on to Reece James for a little bit longer may be the thing to do there. I don't have to make that yet. If I then next week go from Sterling to Gundogan, possibly I still could keep James. If I want to keep Sterling, maybe I drop James down to Cucurella. That gives me more money, and then maybe start to look at where else can I go to get Gundogan. That is my side and my plans. The only other thing that's left to say is captaincy for me at home to Bournemouth. It's got to be Mo Salah. If you went Jesus and Haaland, absolutely get that. I think the only thing that puts me off, if I thought Jesus was on pens, I'd be very tempted to go for penalties. Palace defence, I don't think is that bad. I would much prefer to trust Palace's defence at home to City than I would Bournemouth's defence at home to Liverpool. And just the fact that Salah's a midfielder just feels like he's going to get more points. So I'm all on Salah for Bournemouth. I'm pretty much set and forget for that. The only other thing I'd say, I've seen a lot of chips being bandied around. You know what? I'm not saying you can't use your triple captain and it couldn't pay off. Salah could get an absolute haul, or Haaland or Jesus, and you could really nail it. I'm definitely keeping my triple captain chip, my free hit chip, until later on the season, when we know there will be double game weeks coming up later on the season. When the FA Cup 4th and 5th round kicks off, teams will have, the fixture list will get kind of decimated for 1 week. Then those fixtures will move into another week. That's when you'll get double game weeks with the likes of Salah, the bigger sides that maybe go further in competition, Haaland, Jesus playing twice in a week. Possibly we had a situation, I think, where Salah last year was playing Norwich and Leeds or something like that at home twice in a week. It was just a wonderful triple captain opportunity. And then free hitting when a lot of the big sides aren't playing, so that you don't have to transfer them all out but keep them for next week. So there's lots of opportunities. So for me, definitely should be looking to keep your free hit and your triple captain chips close to your chest for now. That's our team selection then for game week 4. Remember, it's a quick turnaround for game week 5, so midweek fixtures. Don't get caught out by the early deadline. We'll come back at you with a game week review shortly, followed by a watch list, our team selection, all that good stuff happening so quickly and fast now. In the meantime, let me know in the comments below how you're getting on. Who are you thinking of bringing in for your transfers? Who's going to be your captain for this week? Love to hear from you guys. In the meantime, good luck with the rest of this game week. Speak to you soon.